For the Macho Mage, there is no equal, so spend less time yapping and start freeing your people, punk! Hello there everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Joining me is of course my most adorable co-host, Finn, apprentice storyteller and uninitiated as yet to any circles of lore, but nonetheless, I'd say he's rocking a pretty fully maxed out charisma stat there. So, we will keep going on with that, but today we are going on to the 6th and 7th level spells for our 1st edition Pathfinder Macho Mage build, specifically looking at the wizard if you're just joining us. I keep saying that things are ramping up and getting crazy for the wizard, but to be honest, at this point we've sailed over the ramp, we've cleared the landing, and we are continuing on to the stars above. So we are going to keep moving forwards with that as my apprentice tries to squirm away to mischief. But if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and joined such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. But now, let's just start rolling into things here because there's plenty to cover, and this doesn't even scratch the surface of all the spells available to any wizard. So, for 6th level spells, we have Summon Genie, the greater version specifically. Pick a point within 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 caster levels to summon 1 Shaitan, 1d3 Jinn, or 1d4 plus 1 Jan for 1 round per caster level. The Shaitan, at will abilities, Soften Earth and Stone, Stone Shape, 3 times a day, Quickened Glitter Dust, Stone Skin, Rusting Grasp, Stone Tell, and Wall of Stone, and at a disappointing 1 time per day but still incredibly useful spells, Transmute Rock to Mud and Transmute Mud to Rock. There is so much buff and debuff available here. This is absolutely incredible. This is great to have, and this doesn't even touch on any of their physical capabilities. The fact that they're a summoned creature and that you can position them for flanking and have this whole host of abilities just coming out there. I mean, Stone Shape is amazing to have for utility and defense. Definitely a great pick for any wizard, much less the Macho Mage. But then we have another great pick. We have Greater Dispel Magic. Target 1 spellcaster, creature, object, or 20-foot radius area. For targeted, you dispel 1 spell for every... Exactly, I'm getting to that. Every 4 caster levels, starting with the highest level spell that you're able to affect. For the area, you roll 1 dispel check and apply that to each creature in the area, excluding magic items. And for counterspelling, it's as Dispel Magic, but with the +4 bonus, and the exact value of counterspell just really depends on the spell that you're countering overall. There are plenty where you could probably just let it buy and focus more on removing buffs on swarms of minions, or targeting a major threat and removing any buffs or suppressing magic effects that are on them. That'll probably do you a lot better overall. Then we have Greater Heroism. Touch target, and for 1 minute per caster level, they get a +4 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks, as well as an immunity to fear and temporary hit points equal to their caster level, max of 20. Now, the 1 minute per caster level is actually going to get you through a couple of fights at this level, but it's a shame that it doesn't last as long as Heroism did. But that's just more incentive for you to save Greater Heroism for the bigger fights and then leave Heroism for just the general run-of-the-mill, the lead up, the build up to the big fight. Now, going on from there, we have Disintegrate. Make a ranged touch attack against 1 creature or object within 100 feet plus 10 feet every caster level, with a Fortitude save for partial effect. The target takes 2d6 damage at caster level, maxing out at an incredible 40d6. That's not 4d6, that's 40 d6s. disintegrated if they are reduced to 0 hit points with that. But this can also be used to destroy a 10-foot cube of matter or destroy force effects such as Wall of Force. Exactly, little one. The destruction is probably the most interesting part to him. Really, this isn't a bad blasting spell, especially not with the evocation schools and the effects that can be applied with that. But this works better for utility, for destroying, removing supports, for getting rid of force effects that might be in your way. That generally is going to work better and be more bang for your buck in that regard. But then again, aiming this at an enemy spellcaster, who in most spellcasters not having the best fortitude saves, well, clerics, but them notwithstanding, targeting other wizards or sorcerers with this can deal an incredible amount of damage and potentially could remove a threat very, very quickly. The biggest threat on the other side of things. But then we have a spell that really makes the Macho Mage. We have Transformation. 1 round per caster level is how long this will last for, and you gain a +4 enhancement bonus to Strength, Dexterity, and Constitution, and a +4 natural armor bonus, a +5 competence bonus to Fortitude saves, proficiency with all simple and martial weapons, and attack bonus equal to your caster level. The only downside to this, and it's a big one, is that you cannot cast spells even though you're keeping a humanoid form. It specifically lists that you can't cast spells like this, and that's unfortunate. And the other downside here you might notice is this gives you a +4 enhancement bonus to all your physical stats. How can that be kind of a mixed bag? Well, it's because enhancement bonuses can't stack together, and any belts that provide boosts to physical stats or any items that give an enhancement bonus are going to be overruled by this because they can't stack together unless you have a belt giving you a bigger enhancement bonus, which at that point a good chunk of this spell's value falls off, but I say a good chunk, you're still getting a significant amount out of this with the natural armor bonus, a huge boost to your fortitude saves, working with a good constitution score, a better constitution score if you're wearing an incredible belt that boosts all your physical stats. You're gaining proficiency with all simple and martial weapons, and a huge boost to your attack bonus. So overall, for when it comes to getting in there and mixing things up in melee, there's very few spells that can compete with this. I mean, this is a big one overall, and really completes everything for the Macho Mage, especially if you've already, say, cast haste on yourself and have your force sword out and ready to go. With toppling spell affecting that, and the fact that you are getting an extra attack, you're getting extra movement, and other bonuses that haste provides, you are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But then we go on from there to 7th level spells, and we have Summon Monster 7. Summon 1d3 monsters from Summon Monster 6, or 1d4 plus 1 from lower Summon Monster spells. Now you can summon such creatures as a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Vrock, Greater Elementals, Behirs, or Daughter of the Dead, an incredible undead creature. All of these are going to be staggering combatants to throw out in a fight. Then we have Legendary Proportions. Select one target within 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 caster levels to double their height, grant a +6 size bonus to Strength and Natural Armor, a +4 size bonus to Constitution, and damage reduction 10 of Adamantine. Weapon size is increased to match your new size, and this lasts 1 minute per caster level. All the way around here, for everything you get, even though 1 minute per caster level isn't the greatest duration, this is still pretty staggering all the way around, and as I mentioned before, that's long enough to get you through the run-up to a big fight. And if you cast this a little bit later on, you can have incredible bonuses all the way around. And then you don't forget that you also have the communal enlarge person spell as well. So you and your whole party can be at incredible sizes. Now we have Waves of Exhaustion. Cast this 60-foot cone. Exactly, this one's tired. to fire waves of negative energy over targets in the area with no saving throw. Spell resistance does apply though, so that's something to bear in mind, but most of the targets you're going to hit with this, they are probably not going to have spell resistance, but the ones that do, that's another hurdle to overcome, but those are probably going to be some of your more significant threats to begin with. In all likelihood, there are exceptions. All targets in the area become exhausted, moving at 1/2 speed, and this also gives a -6 penalty to their strength and dexterity. That's a huge amount of debuffs right there. That's perfect for the Macho Mage, because now you can thunder into a fight with a good number of your opponents possibly succumbing to this spell and its debuffs, and you are going to be at the height and full of your power. But if you want to add to debuffing opponents, Archon's Trumpet can be hard to beat. Let loose a booming trumpet, and all targets in a 30-foot cone must make a fortitude save or be paralyzed for 1d4 rounds. Now, that duration would be better if it was 1d4 plus 1, so you're getting minimum of 2 rounds out of it. But again, a 30-foot cone, that can, if you aim that right, that can land you a number of targets who are just flat out paralyzed. Again, any debuffs you can apply to your enemy are going to make the fight staggeringly easier for you and your allies. But then we move on to technically 2 spells, actually, Teleport and Greater Teleport. Now, for Teleport, that kicks in at 5th level, or about level 9. You target self, objects, or willing targets that you touch and maintain contact with, up to 1 for every 3 caster levels you possess, to travel instantly up to 100 miles per caster level. That's 900 miles for Teleport. The more familiar the area, the lower the chance of a mishap causing 1d10 damage and re-rolling a 1d20, adding 80. Oh my goodness, little one. He's got a lot to say about teleportation mishaps. It's 1d20 plus 80 to see if a mishap keeps coming up and more damage occurring on at most 93 through 100 for the result on the D100 charts. Greater Teleport has unlimited range, no failure chance, with just a good description and mishaps, just leading you to reappearing to where you tried to teleport from. So Greater Teleport is just teleport, but better. Like, there's no failure chance, no chance of taking extra damage. I mean, that's awesome. And you can get to where you want to go with just a good description? That's pretty damn big all the way around right there. That's incredible utility for you and your party. Now, I gotta say, the mishap rules aren't quite as bad as I remember Teleport being in earlier editions. Like, having people partially stuck in walls was not an impossible occurrence. Like, terrible things could happen to you teleporting. That seems to be less so here, but that also depends on how many times you get the mishap roll coming up, because I'd say odds are you're probably going to look at 3d10 damage. Any more than that would be kind of surprising, because, let's see, plus 80, that's a 13 plus on a d20 roll, so you have a little over a 50% chance of not having a mishap roll keep coming up, but you could keep hitting that eventually. It's just odds are by about 3d10, 4d10, it should stop. But again, it's not a guarantee, and you should be really careful using Teleport. Once you have Greater Teleport, though, almost all of your worries are gone at that point. Now, the next 2, technically 4 spells on here are things that we just gotta talk about real quick. First is Arcane Cannon. Just go look at it. It is so cool. It is the best 5,000 gold pieces you could spend if you are flush with cash and the means of being able to have what you need as reagents and components necessary for casting the spell. It's just awesome. It might not be the most mechanically effective, actually, but it is just too cool, and I'm in love with it. And now I want to do the Artillery Wizard that is just literally summoning artillery out of the air. But the next spell is Form of the Dragon 2, and technically, form of the alien and exotic dragon count here as well, because they give you largely the same bonuses. They just cover different types of dragons, which might have their own, well, not even might, which do have their own special abilities listed in the charts and descriptors, so definitely look those up. I just list both of those other options here too, so that you have as broad and wide of information available to you possible to try to customize and fit things overall to whatever feel and motif that you have going for your wizard, whoever your character is. Exactly. Little one's down there celebrating with my Macho Mage glasses. So, Form of the Dragon 2. You get a +6 size bonus to Strength, a +4 size bonus to Constitution, a +6 natural armor bonus, fly speed of 90 feet, albeit with poor maneuverability, dark vision out to 60 feet, a breath weapon, damage reduction 5, and resistance to 1 element type. So the fact that you can select is kind of nice. You also gain a bite attack, dealing 2d6 damage, 2 claws, dealing 1d8 damage apiece, 2 wing attacks, dealing 1d6 damage, and 1 tail slap, dealing 1d8 damage, of course adding in your strength modifier to that. The breath weapon is usable twice per casting and have 1d4 rounds between their uses. Breath weapons will deal 8d8 damage and allow a reflex save for half damage. Line breath weapons increase to 80-foot lines, and cones increase to 40-foot cones. So you got some tactical options there, and you can catch multiple opponents. Normally, even with my thoughts changing on outright pure blasting effects, have changed significantly looking at the evocation and admixture schools for magic. I'm still not always the biggest fan of them. 8d8 damage isn't bad at all, but the fact that you're potentially catching multiple opponents is really what sells this, makes it good, and the fact that you're not limited to a damage type. So that definitely helps quite a bit. And then the fact that the different dragon forms have their own little special abilities come with them just adds to this overall. And don't forget, you're in a dragon form, which is still going to allow you access to your magic. So you can still be the Macho Mage in a draconic form and then cutting loose with all manner of powerful and terrifying spells. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? I know my apprentice was commenting loudly and often there. I apologize. I'll try to do some more takes where it's too loud. We'll see where everything lands, and if I have to redo it, well, I'll upload this as kind of a blooper thing and then try to get the more audio. I lost my train of thought there. It got hijacked and vanished into the ether like so many other things. So we're just going to wrap things up from there. Go on down there, hit the like button, and share the video far and wide. And remember to hit the subscribe button and join the rest of us here at the Gamers Den. With all that said, thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night. We'll elbow drop your whole nation on behalf of the entire World Wizard Federation. Ooh, yeah.